An exciting Thanksgiving day on a number of fronts. First off, good food, great time with family, and all of that. Um, Secondly, I'm the recipient of a bunch of new equipment. These are the Raspberry Pi Zero Ws that will find their way into the solution that I'm creating for my parents. Got four of them, as you can see. And the task at hand now, let me put these away, is to go ahead and prepare the SD cards for each of these guys. And so I thought I'd take an opportunity to record some content, go through that process for you on camera, in the hope that it might prove to be useful for some of you down the road. I've got four 32 gig SD cards. So we're going to take one of these, record a quick video, maybe not so quick, and show you how I go about the process of provisioning these cards for the Raspberry Pi. So let's get to it. First off, I have already downloaded Raspbian. So on raspberrypi.org, go to the download section and you'll find the Raspbian image. And you can see that I've got that zip file in my downloads folder. Actually looks like I have it a couple of times. So we will go ahead and unzip one of these. And give that a few moments to inflate. You can see that we are creating a .img file. And there we have it. Now, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that talk about this process, and they take you through a process of etching things and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't do it that way, particularly if you are on Mac OS 10 or running Linux. There's literally no need for you to do any of that stuff. But first, I need to put this SD card into my machine. But before I do that, I want to have a look at the block devices currently set up on my computer. And here they are. So we've got SDA, SDB, SDC, and SDD. So I'll go ahead and get this SD card out of its packaging. Hopefully that won't be too difficult a task for me. All right, we've got that connected. Now let's take another look at our block devices. And you can see now that we have device SDE. Now I want to unmount this partition first, because we'll likely run into a device busy issue if we don't. right, so that is now unmounted. And now I can take that image, so as a refresher here, this image, and write it to the SD card. And I'm simply going to do that with the built-in Linux command or Mac command, or I would imagine even on Windows, now with the Windows subsystem for Linux, you could do the same thing. So we'll simply type dd space if for in file. Going to use that .image file, and the out file is going to be /dev/ste, and I'm going to give it a block size of 4 meg, and I'll need to run this as a super user because we are accessing a protected device. So let's go ahead and do this. Oop, invalid number 4. On Fedora, maybe 4 is all I need. This will take a little bit of time, so I'll likely cut the video and resume once this has completed. All right, with that command completed, you see the records in, records out, and some stats here as that has exited. Take another look at our block devices. You can see that SDE1 partition at 29.7 gig, which is what it was prior to the command executing. And so now what we can do is eject the SD card and boot one of our Raspberry Pis, and I'll attempt to show you that now. An important correction to that previous bit. Ended up having to redo the dd command. My mistake, I forgot to include the capital M in the block size specifier. So you will see on the screen here that correction and the corresponding difference in the output once the command completed. I can also confirm that this go around completed much more quickly than the previous one. So with that, let me apply power to the Pi, transition over to what I hope is the screen that will show you the boot sequence. Of course, I need to eject the disk and put it in the Pi first. All right, I'll go ahead and apply power here. If my cables will cooperate. All right, power is applied. You see the colored screen here. And I may have to modify this just slightly. Yep. And so here you have it, the Raspberry Pi 0W boot sequence post SD card preparation. Very straightforward, no special tools needed on Windows, on the Mac and Linux in particular. Tools are definitely built in, and I suspect that the Windows subsystem for Linux will also provide those tools. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you're doing well, and you will see me in the next one. Take care.